Hey there, Puentistas. Welcome to week 7. I'm here to walk you through some of the assignments and things that we're going to be doing this week. Now, I know a lot of you have already turned in your very first essay on conspiracy theories. I've talked with some of you, and it's still out, and that's okay. Please keep reaching out to me and to Anthony. We are more than willing to help you make sure you have something that you are ready to turn in. And again, no judgment here on my part. My job and my mission is to make sure that you guys end up having the skills that you need to keep moving forward on your education journey towards your professional journey. So, um, like I said before, that's my number one goal. So please don't be shy. But I have gotten some feedback, and it seems like in some ways the conspiracy theory essay, although from what I've read of them so far, was challenging in some ways. I'm seeing some really good stuff out of them. And let me keep on reaffirming what is the purpose of 1B. This class is all about developing arguments and doing research. And I know for some of you, your spider sense was telling you that, hey, this feels a lot like our final project in English 1A. And yeah, it totally should. Because that was kind of like our bridge assignment if you had me for 1A. In other words, it's getting you ready for the work in 1B. Now, in some ways, perhaps the conspiracy theory essay was perhaps too wide open. So I've decided to narrow it down a little bit here and have us look back at some of the reading we've been doing about language and the nature of language in terms of our own identities and what we want out of, say, our local communities and the way that they continue to educate people that are still learning English. So if you take a look at the overview here, it's a pretty light week because I know we're starting a new research project, and you've got some reading to do. One thing I will have to add to this is that there is a CQ researcher essay that has to be read along with this. And I forgot to put that in there, and I'm not going to make you watch that. Okay, so I basically stopped time and I put it in there because I thought it would just be good for you to have that looking the way it should be looking. There's so many different places I try to post things and make it totally clear and reinforcing those big main ideas for this week, and I missed this one. So anyway, there's this article that I've posted in this module for this week called Bilingual Education. Now, if you remember from our readings, from Borderlands, La Frontera by Gloria Anzaldúa, she talks about the different kinds of Englishes that she learned and the different kinds of Spanishes that she learned and how they relate to the different communities that she walked through and kind of coursed through in her existence. And that brings us to a larger point about this class, which is it's about us being able to communicate ideas about how to make things better and to be able to use evidence and support to help people get on board. Whether or not you believe your argument in your heart of hearts, I mean, that's something that comes after doing more research and more thinking and really rolling it around. And sometimes it just happens when you're doing something else. You go into the store, you're buying Funyuns, and suddenly you're like, oh yeah, this is what I really think about it. But the point is that it's help priming our brain to get it ready for it. And if you notice here, I put the assignment sheet, and I'd like to see your thesis by Thursday the 25th, and it's going to be a really basic broad thesis. All you've got to do is read this article, which you have to do for your discussion anyway. And from there, you're going to make a determination or a judgment call of how you think learning English should happen in American public schools. So I'm going to be asking you to preview and skim this CQ researcher essay. Now look, I even got a link there in case you didn't want to jump back to the module page. I'm going to do an open link, a new tab. Now it might make you sign in if you haven't signed in already. And hopefully you all know how to do that. If you don't, hey, give me a shout. I'll be more than happy to help walk you through it. Now, this is a pretty long report, but it's done by the research people who work for the United States Congress. So they basically say, okay, this is where we are on this issue. And if you notice, we've got tons of different sections here. So is it long? Absolutely. But what I would recommend you do first is a preview and a skim. Read the whole introduction, read the beginning, the first sentence of every paragraph, and go all the way through, just so you kind of have an idea of what the difference is between bilingual education, where somebody is learning English and their original language or their home language in a public classroom, notably Spanish, and on the other side, English immersion, where it's just kind of like they throw you in the English pool and cheer you on and help you swim and just like gain it without giving you support in that first language. Now, if you notice, there are lots of different sections to this. And it's even got a little pro and con that might give you some ideas about how you want to look it up or how you want to feel about it. And then we've got short features and graphs and things like that. California has the most English language learners, all this kind of good stuff. And, I think this is an issue that is going to continue to be something on the minds of lots of Californians and lots of Americans, because especially California is a very diverse state. And that's one of its strengths. The challenge then is, how do we best help students learn English so they can be successful? And maybe you have some experience with this, or maybe you have friends or family that went through either the bilingual education system or through the English immersion system, and that can help fuel your research on the topic. Now, once you're done with this, of course, you can save it, you can view PDF, you should be able to jump into it no matter where you are. Now, the other thing that you might want to look at is, once you feel like you've got a sense of where you want to argue, bilingual ed is the best program, English immersion is the best program, a different approach is the best program. From there, you're going to start looking for other articles, right? And the best place that I have found to look for this kind of information will be on Psych Articles, because Psych Articles is a database that's all about psychology and people who study how the mind works and learns. So going right through there, let's say you're going to go bilingual education, and maybe you're going to put just in the next window, advantages, give it a search. And look, cognitive benefits, cost of bilingualism in elementary school students. So there's lots of articles right here. Now, the other thing that I want you to keep in mind is, if you want English immersion, I didn't try this one yet, but we'll try it. And we're not getting anything in there. Just try putting programs in. If you notice, I'm not giving up. That can help. No. Let's get rid of advantages. So notice we have some stuff about French. But look, here's one that's talking about bilingual. So it might take you a little bit more time to find the other side. But again, I think Psych Articles is going to be your best go-to for that. But the other thing that you can do is look at what's happening in this essay. Notice anywhere there's a footnote, if you roll over it and click on it, it's going to give you where that information came from. And you can go to footnotes, and most of these are going to be journals that you're going to be able to find in our database too, either in the daily newspapers database or in Academic Search Complete. And again, I'm not expecting anybody to be a total master on this, but I just want to see us like dig around here and see what we can find in order to help us build a case either way. Now, if you've got any questions about that, of course, I want you to talk to me about it. Here's your essay checklist right here on the bottom. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Hopefully that stuff looks really familiar. I would love to see an outline and a rough works cited page due Sunday. If that seems like it's a little bit tight, just let me know, okay? I'm trying to give you lots of time to kind of build through the material. If you notice, the final draft isn't due until the 13th, so we've got quite a bit of time. But because it requires research, it's going to be important for us to build how we're going to put that research into our essay. Now I'm going to jump us back real quickly to modules. And you'll notice that our interaction, our discussion this week is going to be based on that article. Notice I've also made another like hyperlink to it right there. I'm asking you to think about which you think is better. What's your gut going into it? Some of us might have a gut instinct about it based on what we've experienced or what we've heard from other people. And it's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here. This is just about getting that play of ideas out so that you can see what other people are feeling about it too. And I think based on the past discussions I've looked at, there's a whole lot of great conversation going here. And because we're all working on the same issue this time, hopefully there will be a lot of good cross-pollination, if you want to call it that, among our ideas here. And if somebody has a great idea or a great article, you should ask about it. Ask where they got it and see if they can refer it to you. Since we're all working on the same thing, we're all kind of digging in the same mine. Anyway, this one's going to be, I think, really interesting for people to look at. In general, I've really enjoyed your discussions that you've put forward. And again, it works just like a regular discussion. Other than that, that's really our work for the week. Again, if there are questions, oh, look, this is, of course, my view. That's not what your view is going to look like. Student view. I always forget to do that. Okay. This is all you need to look at for right now. Huh. Oh, that's week 6. Week 7. There we go. It's pretty light on that week. I know from talking to quite a few of you that things are starting to ramp up in the other classes, and that's fine. I totally get that. Remember, Liz and I are here to support you with it and make sure that you're making that progress necessary. And if things are coming up, please, please, please just let us know. Anyway, that's just about it. But I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to reading your discussions. And questions big or small, make sure you let me know. Thanks a lot, everybody.